Okay, so they left me alone. So what he's trying to tell me now that this number, which they always do this, and I don't trust it at all. This number is they're saying is accurate to 2015 when they're saying the case started in 2016. Either way, this paper would have to acclimate the time and be specific on both parts, the year and date and time. That these two things correlate. That this case could be brought up by this date, and that case docket, like it would cause trouble doing that if this was the case. I know I've been dealing with dockets for a long time, and never did I have a number popping, especially with somebody who's arguing docket change, docket disposal, or docket docket games, like playing docket games with the dockets and information on identification. They even changed my birth date and name was moved around, like Anthony Michael Herder instead of Michael Anthony Herder, or Anthony Michael Herder, or Michael Anthony Herder, or Michael Herder Anthony. They'll change that around like that so they can say it's not the same person. It's just the system is very unique in the way it compromises information because it can't tell specifics uh, on its own. It needs the help of individuals, and they can play in that, acting like, oh, you could be a brother of this person, that sort of thing. Okay, so um, one second here. I'm just getting a text. Well, that's we really want to click this link. Okay. Anyway, no need for that. Let me cut that off. Back to where I was. Okay, so then I'm filling this out, and the argument with filling this out is I don't trust anything they're doing. So I'm filling this paperwork out, and I don't know what number it is, but I don't care. You know who I am. I'm just going to put it in there the way it is. It says 2015 or 2016. It doesn't matter. They have to address the case with me in the courtroom. And that's the grounds of why I'm doing it. Don't let them turn around and be like, oh, we had the hearing, but he missed it. I don't care what they tell you. I'm not coming here to miss a hearing. I'm not even trying to really have this hearing. I'm trying to get my kids back. I know they're wrong. So it's not about the little things to me anymore. So okay, we'll write that down. And then that was this dash hyphen 61553 C, and then 37. Now this looks like this has changed. C37. It might not have, but I don't know. I just feel like I see change in it. You see, and then they have the 16 here. The six in it is messed up, like they changed the six. So there's a lot of identification factors here that are an issue in this paperwork that you need to look at. That this six here, that five there, this six there. It's saying a lot of things, and there's no way they would start a case in 2015 and then it wouldn't have a corresponding case or any effect till 2016. That's a year later. That right there would be an issue. So it seems like they're sliding everywhere on this. Also, this in custody, it's supposed to have a docket number here and here, and this is supposed to speak about the federal number. He admitted earlier this is a federal lawsuit. That's a federal courtroom, and these are federal proceedings that they couldn't be put down in smaller arguments because they're federal proceedings. So they're doing what they want in any account. But there's also argument about the parental rights to not have a parent move out of the county without the other person's knowledge, or at least knowledge, but consent to say the most. For obvious reasons, they could just run away with your kids, and you didn't consent it, and they allowed it. There's another nine. That's a whole different date, but so those other dates totally, and directly relate. Okay, so back to filling this out. Now they're saying blank defendant should be Danielle McCarthy. You blank. Defendant. Oh, that's good enough. I don't look. I'm not good at this stuff, to be honest. I told him I'm very bad at this stuff. I'm good at law, because law is based off of reason. Like if you went to a courtroom and you could put in front of the court's eyes that what they're doing doesn't make reason, you win that case. That's all you have to do. That there's no reasonable suspicion against you. The suspicions are unreasonable, and that's the argument that they're taking these cases that have unreasonable features and acting like but the federal courtroom has to give homage to the idea that there's more to it than this. But them having their hands on me, they have to change the docket number to do it, and that's what they're doing. So taking my kids, they're acting like I'm not the same person with this lawsuit, and they're saying they have nothing to do with each other because that's their only argument, to try to attempt to say that this lawsuit, no matter how big it is, has nothing to do with what we do next to you. We can do more no matter what lawsuit you have against us. It doesn't matter. It doesn't argue your defense. The lawsuit you have against us doesn't defend you at all. It doesn't stand for you in a sense that helps you. Even if we're taking your kids or we've come out of the criminal proceedings, come into civil proceedings just to continue doing this to you. And that's what it starts to look like. So I'm only saying that because that's what they hate to hear. And that's what I need to display, what they hate to hear. It's just, I do not expect that you're going to do anything. Know that me saying this to you is to help you alone. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm fighting with them on it, helping me. But what I'm saying to you is for you alone. It's it's supposed to be inspirational that you can do these things, and it might seem uninspirational. They want it to seem that way, so you know that it's hard to go for your rights. But trust me, it feels good from this point to know you have the upper hand against them. To know that in morale compass, you are correct. You have the law on your side, even though law enforcement are working against you. That is always going to be the case. They fight everything. They fight every case they've ever lost. They fought all the way down to the ground. They damn scrambled it, wrestled it to the ground. They did, it's not something unheard of. That's what they do. That's the system. That's why it's called the system. It's systematic. It functions if it's functioning. But if it's not, it malfunctions. It needs somebody with good intention behind it. Anyway. Okay, so that was the lawsuit. We're doing that part now. I'm going to sit this down this way because I don't want to take too long of recordings, because, well, truthfully, it's boring to hear long snaps, but this is kind of interesting. If you care anything about the upcoming of your nation or, outgoing people in your nation, if you care anything about that, then this is necessary to learn it, to pick it up. But also, this can help you if they start doing wrong to you. You have ground. If it wasn't for me knowing what I know, I understand, I would have been in jail for lies. I would have been in jail for lies. Them acting like the fact that I'm out of jail doesn't plead my case on its own is nuts. Because I would be so deep in jail, they would probably been have killed me. I worry about my brothers that are in prison because there's a they're against us, and that's what they do. So I want them out. They said Josh has COVID. All of a sudden, Josh has COVID fighting his case. Now Josh has COVID. How? Probably locked in a cell because he's on murder charges. So he's probably locked in a cell by himself. So the only way he could catch COVID is if they brought it to him. And that means that they're not taking the right precautions. It's either way, it's on them if Josh has COVID. And they know I know that. They know that I'll connect them dots. They just tell me. They even use my family to do it. Because my family has been against me on it. Not all of them, but some of them, enough of them, to think that the Bible foretold that truth, that an individual would be hated by even his family. And that happened. You would not believe how true that is. It's just so true. Even his family. I really never needed them. They've done so much worse to me than it would have been if I just was left on the streets, I guess, because I would have found somebody by now. I would have figured something out. Somebody would have come along, even if it was God enabling it. I wouldn't have been enabled to sit so long for years in this situation if they hadn't been in my ear trying to tell me directions to go. They needed my family to work against me, and that didn't work for them. But they also did that illegal, and there's ways to determine that. We've already determined that. I've asked the right questions, which would be the only way it could have happened because they can't lie about how it happened. Anyway, this is the way they look at it. Oh man. Okay. So moving along.